second teaching video for this particular topic. Alright, so I'll proceed with the production possibility curve. What is PPC? Basically, PPC is a diagram to illustrate the three concepts which I mentioned in my previous video, which is the scarcity, choices, and opportunity costs. So you can illustrate better these three concepts using a PPC. So PPC is a graphical illustration to explain the three basic economic concepts of scarcity, choices, and opportunity costs. This is the actual definition of PPC. It is the various possible combination of two goods and services produced within the specific time with given technology and resources. So nak senang dia, translation dia adalah beberapa jenis kombinasi barangan yang boleh kita hasilkan menggunakan resource yang ada dalam negara. Okay, this is the same definition. Before we construct PPC, there are assumptions that we need to observe here. Okay, kenapa ada assumption? In economics, we always have assumption because beside theory, there are other factors outside the theory that can affect the economic variable. For example, kalau kita katakan if kita nak beli barang, faktor yang boleh mempengaruhi pembelian barang adalah harga. Tapi sebenarnya selain harga, ada lagi banyak faktor lain yang boleh mempengaruhi pembelian barang, iaitu for example quality ataupun cita rasa, habit. So meaning that teori itu bukan satu je yang boleh mempengaruhi teori, ada banyak lagi faktor lain. So that's why untuk memudahkan you faham macam mana PPC itu terhasil dan mewakili economic teori, kita ada andaian, itu kita panggil sebagai assumption untuk teori tersebut. Okay, so sebelum kita buat PPC, kita andaikan every country tu, setiap country yang nak menghasilkan barangan tu, dia akan hasilkan only two types of product, which is orang kata tak logik sebenarnya kan. Kalau you tengok sekeliling you pun dah ada beribu jenis barangan. Tapi when we are trying to explain about PPC, we assume that the country will only produce two types of product. For example, kalau contoh from the textbook, sewing machine and bread, roti dan juga mesin jahit. Okay, so any types of product lah, tak semestinya sewing machine and bread. For example, apple and orange ke, fish and watermelon ke, ataupun pen and boxes ke, any types to product. Okay, and second assumption is we assume that the resources, which is the land, labor, capital, okay, and entrepreneur. Okay, we have four resources, ataupun nama lain dia dalam ekonomi kita panggil ni adalah FOPs, factors of production. Okay, so we assume these four resources yang ada dalam setiap negara ni, every four resources ni adalah fix, dia tidak berubah nilai dia, which is very unlikely lah. If you take for example labor, kan, labor is always changing. For example, if we accept the foreign labor, jumlah labor in the country will be more. So dia berubah sebenarnya. If the local people, our local labor, for example, we have unfortunate event of tsunami for example, lepas tu ramai yang meninggal, jadinya labor akan berkurang. Same goes with land. As time goes by, dia akan habis, akan ada juga bertambah. For example, kita land ni all natural resources, right? Kita beli arang batu daripada luar negara, kita import masuk ke Malaysia, so dia bertambah di Malaysia. So land pun subject to change. Same goes with labor, same goes with capital. Capital ni machinery, barang untuk menghasilkan barang, right? So kalau kita beli mesin baru daripada luar negara, bawa masuk ke Malaysia, dia akan bertambah. And if for example ada flood ke banjir kan, mesin rosak dalam Malaysia, so dia akan berkurang. So it's subject to change. Same goes to entrepreneur, also changes. Entrepreneur can die, like labor lah, boleh mati juga. Dan boleh bertambah juga if we import entrepreneur from outside. So these all 4 resources ni are subject to change. Tapi bila kita wants to construct PPC, we will assume these 4 resources are fixed. Maksud fixed tu tetap, dia tak akan berubah. Okay, and another assumption is we assume that the technology in the country is fixed also. Maksud fixed technology tu maksudnya the technology does not change. And for your information, our technology is always changing. Right, kalau you kata, oh handphone I paling canggih, esok tu dah keluar yang baru lagi. So it's keep changing, right? So benda tu akan sentiasa berubah. Tapi when we want to construct a PPC, we assume the technology is unchanged, because when technology change, it will affect the production capability of the country. Dia boleh hasilkan lebih banyak barang. For example, menggunakan mesin dan menggunakan orang, mana lagi efisien? Mesin tak rosak. Selagi dia tak rosak, dia tak perlukan berehat. Dia akan keep producing product. Tapi manusia ada limitation, right? Using machinery, normally the outcome is more than using human capability. So berbezalah. Jadinya sebab itulah kita tak nak dia mempengaruhi penghasilan barangan masa kita construct the PPC. That's why we assume the technology in the country is also fixed. Okay, and next is economy is at full employment. Full employment, it means that all these 4 factors of production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, the country is using efficiently. Efficiently maksudnya menggunakan dengan sebaik mungkin. Maksudnya dia mencuba sedaya upaya utilize all the factors of production to fulfill the unlimited wants of the people inside the country. So ada permintaan barangan, dia selagi ada apa orang kata input ataupun resource untuk menghasilkan barangan tersebut, the country keep using it. Maksudnya itulah yang kita maksudkan sebagai efficient. Okay, so some country they are not efficient. For example, they have in real life, like they have lots of the resources. Take for example Indonesia lah. The country is very big. They have vast number of land. In terms of the natural resources, dia ada sangat banyak. In terms of labor, their population is a lot. In terms of capital, entrepreneur, they also have a lot. But what happened to them? Because they are unable to utilize these factors of production efficiently, that's why negara dia tak, orang kata income dia tak berapa nak memberangsangkan. They are not achieving much from their usage of factors of production. Itu bermaksud the country fail to utilize efficiently whatever the factors of production they have in the country. If, for example, Indonesia managed to provide job to their citizen, they will contribute to the country, right? But now, the case is the country cannot provide job. That's why dia amalkan dasar galakkan rakyat dia berhijrah ke luar negara, kan? Kalau you tengok Indonesian, merata tempat seluruh dunia ada diorang untuk mencari pekerjaan, because they are unable to find job in their country. So sayanglah, kan, they have the resources but they are unable to use the resources. Tapi going back to our assumption to construct the PPC, kita akan assume every country in the world they are being full employed, they are efficiently use their factors of production. Okay, so this is the assumption you need to memorize, because they always ask about the assumption before we can construct the PPC. Okay, so before we go with the graphical illustration, PPC normally sebelum kita construct dia akan ada table. They will give a table like this, and here you can see they have 2 product, which is The first one television, the second one bread. Now, tadi kan the first assumption said they will produce two product. So in this case, they will produce two product. Alright, and all the other assumption here adalah fulfilled. They have fixed resources, they have fixed technology, and they are operating at full employment. So they have several production possibility, meaning that combination of goods yang dia boleh hasilkan using the existing resources yang ada dalam negara tersebut. For example, if they opted to produce at point A, they are producing 15 TV, but they are not producing bread, zero bread. This is the combination, the most efficient combination at A, meaning that apa yang dia boleh hasilkan masa dekat point A. And then going for B, they are producing 14 TV and 1 bread. At C, 12 TV, 2 bread. Okay, so this is all the possible combination yang dia boleh buat menggunakan resource yang ada. So the country need to choose which combination yang terbaik untuk negara diorang. And whichever combination is depends on the wants of the people inside the country lah. But bear in mind, if you can see here, for point A and point F, there is a problem there. Why? Because in this combination, only one product is being produced, TV saja. They are not producing bread. Same goes for F. They are only producing bread, they are not producing TV. They are violating the first assumption, must produce two products. Okay, so even though A and F is also categorized as a combination, but we did not prefer A and F because this is the extreme, they are only producing one types of product. Okay, so what should you do afterwards is you have one graph paper, which is you don't need to do it these days. Before this memang you menggunakan graph paper untuk plot PPC. Sekarang ni you kena faham konsep dia sahaja. So saya buat illustration dia sahaja because it's no longer relevant. Tapi you kena tahu juga sebab you nak faham apa itu PPC and how the PPC was constructed. Okay, as you can see here, right? I will use two screen so it is easier for you to see. Okay, I will use this one because this one dia lebih nampak. Okay, this is the table. Alright, so it's here. Okay, abaikan yang kotak-kotak dulu, nanti I will explain it to you. So how to construct this? Goods yang, barangan yang nilai dia as time goes by menurun, dia akan berada di part C Y. Y ke yang tegak ni? Kalau barangan tu makin lama makin meningkat, dia akan berada di part C X. Okay, itu adalah dia punya rules and regulation. So tengok nanti kalau dalam table, you tak perlu tengok pun sebab you tak ada dah kan. Cuma saya nak beritahu awak macam mana dia letak barang mana yang akan berada di part C mana. So barang yang nilai dia menurun daripada A ke F, nilai dia makin berkurang, dia akan berada di part sini. While nilai dia makin meningkat, dia akan berada di part sini. Okay, so here from combination A, 15 TV, 0 bread. So you can see here, it's 15 kat sini, 15, and bread is 0. That's why dia labelkan as A. So this is how you plot lah. Kalau you nak try, you boleh dapatkan graph paper and you can try. And for B is 14 and 1. So 14 and 1. So ini kan 0, 1, 2, 3. Biasa kita buat skala dahulu. Okay, 14 and 1, so we got it here for B. And for C, it's 12 kat sini, and 2. So this is the point, so we got here C. And D is here, and E is here. Okay, and then you just sambungkan all the point there, you akan dapat the shape of the PPC. So this is how you construct a PPC. Very simple. Tapi kena ingatlah macam you belajar maths dulu kan, dia tak boleh lah main letak paksim rata-rata. For example 2, 3, lepas tu 7. Tak ada, kita ikut sifir lah. Macam ni dia pakai sifir 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Tapi dia tulis macam tu kan. Tapi actually dia ikut skala lah yang ni. Okay, antara 14 dengan 16 adalah 15. That's why dia duduk tengah-tengah. Okay, so as simple as that. That is how you construct the PPC. So macam mana PPC ni boleh explain the three concept? Kita tengok kat sini dulu. Dia kata the country is producing two product, which is television and bread. If it allocates all the resources to produce television, it will produce at point A. Kat point A lah, sebab kat sini they get 15 TV. Okay, if it allocates all the resources to bread, it will produce at point F. Sebab dekat F ni we got 5 bread and 0 TV. Okay, but this will violate the assumption that there should be two products to be produced. Okay, so if the country is at point C here, meaning that they are producing 12 TV and 2 bread. Well, if the country is at point D, when that they are producing antara 8 dengan 10, 9 and 9 TV and 3 bread. As simple as that, very simple. Okay, so now I would like to explain about the concept of scarcity choices and opportunity cost inside the PPC. Okay, related to the PPC. Scarcity means limited resources, right? Limited resources to fulfill the unlimited humans want. Kan? Okay, so ini A, B, C, D, E adalah combination yang you boleh hasilkan dengan resource yang ada dalam negara. Mean that the maximum you can produce is at this point only. Dekat curve tu je. You cannot go outside. That's why any point outside the PPC, saya letak kat sini. Garis putus-putusnya tak perlu pun sebenarnya. Kalau saya letak kat sini pun X, kat sini pun X, kat sini pun X. As long as it's outside the curve, kita akan namakan dia sebagai scarcity. This is how point scarcity is being illustrated. Any point outside the PPC is considered as scarcity. Okay, going next. Another point here. Any point along the PPC is considered as choice. Along the PPC meaning that atas garisan tu lah. This is our PPC yang biru tadi, dah jadi merah dah saya buat kat situ. So, any point on the PPC, along the PPC, itu semua adalah pilihan yang kita ada. Kan kita ada 3 konsep kan? Pertama, scarcity. Kedua, choice. Yang ketiga, opportunity cost. So with the resources that we have, this is the choice that we can have. Macam saya kata lah, you have 10 ringgit, you ada 3 choice. Either nak makan lunch yang berharga RM10, nak beli buku berharga RM10, dan juga nak pergi tengok wayang dengan berharga RM10. Tapi you only ada RM10. Kalau you nak 3-3, you kena ada RM30. So because you have limitation there, you have scarcity in terms of money, that's why you need to choose. Same goes here. So resources you ada sampai tahap ni sahaja. So this is various possible combination yang you boleh pencipta adalah antara A, B, C ataupun D ataupun E and F. You tak boleh nak semua sekali sebab resource you tak cukup. So ini yang kita namakan sebagai pilihan dia, choice dia. Our choice is any point on the curve. So this country can choose either to produce at point A or Fahamkan maksud saya? O, bukan N O. O point B, O point C, O point D, O point E, O point F. Dia tak boleh semua, dia kena ambil salah satu. Okay, and kita tak prefer A dengan F sebab dia violate the first assumption yang kena produce two types of product kan. A ni maksudnya dia produce TV saja, F dia produce bread saja. So, which one will the country choose depending on the demand of the people inside the country? If they want to go with more balance, bilangan bread dan TV yang more balance, they will be opted for point D lah. Mungkin sebab dekat D ni 9 TV 3, ataupun they will opted to point E. Kalau point E tu maksud dia 5 TV and 4 bread, more balance lah. It depends on the wants of the people inside the country. Macam ada student tanya saya, macam mana madam compare TV dengan bread ni? You tak boleh fikir logik sebab ni kita cuma belajar teori. Dia letak example as TV and bread. Memanglah kita tak boleh compare TV and bread, tak ada kena-mengena pun kan. So satu tu kita assume sebagai capital goods lah, yang satu lagi lebih kepada food supply macam tu. Okay, alright. And then when we move from one point to another point, C to D for example, it will involve the concept yang ketiga, which is opportunity cost. If for example kan tadi saya kata the country choose to produce at D, this is choice dia, pilihan dia, they choose to produce at D. So fahamkan maksud opportunity cost kita dulu. Opportunity cost tu cost yang terpaksa kita lepaskan, the foregone cost. If you choose to produce at D, what will you forgone? You akan forgone C, B, A. Oh, hilang. Okay, you will forgone C, B, A, E dan juga F because you choose this one. Okay, you choose this one. And opportunity cost, konsep dia tak akan berlaku selagi you tak mengubah you tak mengubah point yang you pilih. If for example all of a sudden they said that they don't want more TV lah. Sekarang kalau ke point D ni 9 TV dan juga 3 bread kan, they would like to have more bread. Rakyat dah lapar dah. Okay, so they want to produce at point E instead of point D. So bila dia tukar point, dia move from D to E, inilah yang kita konsep kos lepas tu akan datang. Bila you pilih untuk menukar choice you ada benda yang you kena lepaskan. Sebab bila you bergerak from D to E, meaning that you nak tambah bread from 3 to 4 plus 1 kat sini, you kena forgone, lepaskan TV. TV asalnya 9, sekarang ni TV jadi 5. I'm not sure kenapa dia pecah macam tu. Okay, 9 dan juga 5. So asalnya 9, sekarang ni jadi 5. 9 tolak 5, you kena forgone 4 TV untuk dapatkan 1 bread. Logik ke tak logik tu belakang kira. Kita cuma nak bagi tahu konsep dia. Kalau you nak sesuatu barang, sebab resource you limited, you kena lepaskan barang yang satu lagi supaya you boleh tambah satu lagi barang. Okay, so that is the concept of opportunity cost. So here they say that any point outside the PPC, okay, is unattainable. Yes, kita tak boleh capai sebab we don't have the resources. So for example, country tu kata saya nak produce dekat point, saya letak example here, point Z for example. Boleh ke? Cannot lah, sebab your resources up until point curve ni saja. It's unattainable. Okay, well any point inside the PPC, dalam PPC ni, dalam lingkungan ni, is attainable, tapi waste, pembaziran berlaku. Because you can produce at A, B, C, D, E, F, tapi you choose to produce inside, for example, Y ni, point Y ni, dalam curve tu. It's inefficient lah, like I told you macam case Indonesia lah. They have the resources but they are unable to utilize the resources. Okay, so this is how the concept of scarcity choices and opportunity cost is being illustrated through the PPC. Very simple, as simple as that. Okay, next. For your information, PPC has 3 types of PPC, the shape of PPC. We have concave, convex and straight line. Yang tadi tu dalam example kita ni, yang ni, ini adalah bentuk yang kita panggil concave. Concave tu cembung. Kalau saya nak ingat senang je, dia gua. Cave. Nampak macam style gua kan. While convex ni maksud dia, this is convex. Cengkung. Okay. And PPC boleh jadi straight line. Straight. Dan kenapa bentuk PPC berbeza? Ada 3 jenis. Because it depends on the types of opportunity cost. If for example, the opportunity cost is increasing, the shape of PPC akan jadi concave. Macam mana nak tahu increasing ke decreasing? Awak tak perlu kira. Untuk kos awak tak perlu kira. Tapi saya nak tunjuk macam ni je lah. Senang dia kat sini. Kalau you tengok kat sini kan. Untuk exercise 1 ni. A, B, C, D, E. Alright. So dia ada radio and TV. Alright. So if you are moving from point A to B here, meaning that kita tengah add 2 radio. What happened to the TV? TV akan berkurang daripada 10 jadi 9. Kita kena foregone 1 TV. Kita move lagi daripada point B to C, mean that kita nak tambah lagi 2 radio. What happened to the TV? TV akan berkurang daripada 9 ke 7. Dia akan berkurang 2. So move lagi daripada point C to D, radio akan bertambah 2 more. What happened to the TV? TV akan berkurang lagi 3 daripada 7 jadi 4. So as time goes by, you can see the trend here. The number that you need to forgone, the number of TV that you need to forgone is increasing. Asalnya 1 je. Lepas tu jadi 2 pula. Lepas tu jadi 3 pula. When we move from D to E, dia akan jadi 4 pula. The number of TV to be forgone, if you want to add more radio, is increasing. Kita panggil ini meningkat. Makin lama makin meningkat. Increasing opportunity cost. So, yang ni tak apa. Abaikan. You tengok kat sini pun cukup dah untuk you. Sebab ini tak ada kaitan dah untuk you. You tak belajar pengiraan. So, inilah yang kita namakan increasing opportunity cost. Sekiranya opportunity cost lepas untuk penghasilan barangan ini meningkat, dia akan menyebabkan rupa dia akan jadi concave macam ni. Okay. Well, kalau case macam ni, for example, when we move from A to B, the radio is added by 2. What happened to the TV? Minus 2. Ni gerak daripada B to C, tambah 2 lagi. What happened to the TV? Minus 2 juga. Ni pun minus 2. Biasanya nilai bertambah ni sentiasa sama tau. Nilai yang bertambah ni sentiasa sama. Yang ni akan berubah. So, always 2, 2, 2, 2. Kita panggil constant. Bila opportunity cost tu constant, what happen to the shape of the PPC? Dia akan jadi straight line. Okay. And last kali, here, when we move from A to B, nampak tak? Still radio tambah 2. Tambah 2. We are adding the same amount, right? Tapi in terms of we are foregoing, banyak. Dia berbeza. 24 tolak 18, 6. Lepas tu, 18 tolak 3, 5 pula. 13 tolak 9, 4. So, maksudnya asalnya kita akan forgone banyak. Makin lama makin sikit, makin sikit, makin sikit lah. Ini yang kita letak kat sini. So, ini yang kita panggil sebagai decreasing opportunity cost. So, sekiranya kos lepas kita untuk tambah barang yang nak bertambah ni makin berkurang, Apa yang akan berlaku pada our PPC? Our PPC will become convex. So that is the summary. Okay, it is influenced by the opportunity cost of the product. Okay, here just to test you, if it's say that the point along the PPC, meaning that on the PPC, this is choice. Outside the PPC, this is scarcity. Inside the PPC, attainable but inefficient. Wastage, pembaziran. Movement from one point to another point, this is opportunity cost. Okay, so that's it for, oh sorry, I forgot about this one. We have another two. This one is ECO120. Tengok awak punya ada ke tak? Tak ada. You tak ada economic growth pun, economic disasters. Tapi alang-alang kan, saya cerita sedikit lah. PPC ni boleh berubah. Tadi saya kata, kalau kita boleh hasilkan kat sini je lah, sebab resource kita banyak ni kan. Tapi kalau kita ada faktor-faktor ni, kita boleh expect our PPC to change. For example, when we have economic growth, growth ni maksudnya pembangunan ekonomi, meaning that the country has more money. When we have more money, what will happen? We can buy more resources. In terms of land, akan bertambah. In terms of labour, kita boleh import buruh asing. In terms of capital, kita boleh beli banyak lagi capital goods from outside. In terms of entrepreneur, kita boleh hire more entrepreneur. So, due to economic growth, our PPC can shift outside. Kita boleh hasilkan lebih banyak barang. Okay? And what happen if we have economic disasters? Bila kita ada disasters, for example, economic down ataupun recession, especially for example zaman COVID ni lah, kita economic slow down, right? Duit tak ada, so tak boleh jalankan economic activities, walaupun resource ada tapi tak fully utilised. So what happen? Our PPC akan shift inwards. So economic disasters ni boleh juga diklasifikasikan sebagai bencana alam lah. For example, flood ke, drought ke, tsunami ke, anything lah. Even COVID-19 pun also kita boleh consider sebagai natural disasters. And then if you have war, kalau ada peperangan also lah, kita consider sebagai salah satu reason akan menyebabkan our PPC changes. What do you expect? If we have war, adakah PPC kita akan shift out ataupun shift in? We'll shift in, right? Bila ada war ni, in terms of our factors of production, land, labour, capital, entrepreneur tu, semua akan rosak. Labour akan meninggal, capital rosak, entrepreneur pun akan meninggal. So, most of our resources akan destroyed. So, that is what happened. We will see this happen. And last sekali, decrease in technology. Teknologi boleh decrease ke? Boleh. Sebab teknologi boleh destroy. For example, what happened to Japan kan masa dia kena tsunami. So, dia adalah antara negara yang pembekal barangan elektronik. Tapi sebab dia kena tsunami, kilang dia musnah, dia menyebabkan production capability dia makin berkurang. So itu yang kita maksudkan dengan decrease in technology, being destroyed. The technology is being destroyed. So what happened? We expect this will happen. And here, population. When we have an increase in population, lebih ramai rakyat Malaysia, tak kisahlah, lebih banyak kelahiran ke, lebih banyak buruh asing datang ke, penghijrahan ke sini ke, dia akan menyebabkan PPC, because population relates to labour and also entrepreneur. Okay, while decrease in population also happen. Sekarang ni musim COVID kan, kat negara kita dah berapa banyak kadar kematian, tak signifikan lah. Kalau kita tengok negara yang beratus ribu kadar kematian tu kan, their population is decreasing. So what happened to the PPC? It will shift inward. And here is a special case lah. Barang ni, SM stand for sewing machine, B stand for butter. Okay, kalau soalan bagi tahu teknologi sewing machine sahaja yang berubah, so apa yang berubah adalah sebelah sewing machine sahaja. PPC yang sebelah sini je akan berubah, yang kat sini static. Kalau yang ni dia kata teknologi butter sahaja yang berubah, yang meningkat. Dia meningkat, sebab tu dia shift out. Ni shift out juga untuk butter sahaja, sewing machine tak berubah. Tapi kalau dia cakap secara broadly teknologi, tapi dia tak cakap teknologi apa, then you stick sahaja, dia akan menyebabkan shifting outward. The whole curve akan shift, ataupun shifting in kalau teknologi itu berkurang ataupun destroyed. Alright, so that's it for today's teaching video. I'll have another one, part 3. That one yang saya buat last sem, tapi sama je, dia relevant lagi. Awak abaikanlah bila saya sebut Dr. Khairi semua tu, sebab itu tutorial dengan kelas Dr. Khairi dulu. Tapi cara nak menjawab soalan macam tu. Tapi suka saya nak ingatkan kat sini, soalan yang dalam tutorial tu adalah berkenaan essay question. Tapi start this semester, soalan essay dah tak masuk for your common test and also for your final. Tapi cubalah, sebab you will get input bila you try essay questions, sebab nanti you akan dapat knowledge juga macam mana nak answer structure question. Okay, so I'll see you in the next teaching video. Thank you for listening.